No more misbehaving. No more miss me not. No more misbehaving. Then I'll see what you have got. No more stormy weather. No more, that's for sure. No more stormy weather. I won't see you anymore. Bring it down. Bring it back forever. Bring it down on the ground. Safe and sound. Bring it back to never. Bring it down on the ground. No more secret talking. No more nails on top. No more secret talking. I don't think you'll ever stop. No more misbehaving. No more miss me not. No more misbehaving. Then we'll see what you are not. Bring it down. Bring it back forever. Bring it down on the ground. Safe and sound. Bring it back to never. Bring it down on the ground.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the special pre-Easter edition of the Black Unicorn and the White Witch. I am Miss Shannon coming to you from my kitchen. That is the lovely Tiffany Norton coming to you from a bunker in Wisconsin.
Yes, they're all bunkers in Wisconsin.
Yes. They're all. Is that all Wisconsin has? Is just bunks?
Yeah, you've got to have a good bunker. Okay. If you want to survive, the winters in Wisconsin, I think. Yeah. I was watching the Masters earlier.
Oh, how's that going?
Well, it's I hate it. Like I love doing the show, but I was like, man, there was some really good golf, but yeah, it's tight. Scheffler is winning. He's been doing the best. He's been the leader all day, but he's dropped. He was 11 under. Now he's down to 10 under. And then McIlroy, who's really good, has gotten to 7 under now. And he was back in like 4th place. So exciting stuff. Not great for Tiger but this weekend, but he'll still get something.
But I mean, I think that is, as far as Tiger goes, and I haven't been super tight on it, that after that serious car accident and he's been going through, that he was able to even play sounded like a triumph. It just
it was for sure
that he was back in form enough that he was even considering it to do it from a physical and a mental health proceeding. Like, all right, good on you, Tiger. Good for you. So
yeah. Well, I mean, it was. You could see when he was walking back to the clubhouse, He was in pain. I mean, the limp, as soon as he got done with his 18th hole, the limp was really a lot more prominent. You could tell he was just holding it together.
Yeah.
And man, they got to play all week. And
Right. I mean, even if you take out the how far you travel doing a full 18 holes, there's been days when you and I, who have not had that serious of a physical accident, but just like some aches and pains and hey, I dislocated a thing, kind of thing. If we're talking about your elbow or something like that, even when we're out there and we're not in, it's that fine line of doing it enough that your body understands and can reflex and do that, but not doing it so much that you re-injure yourself right away. And that has been a very difficult mental decision for Tiger to decide if he was going to play so close. So hello to friends that are in the chat. Tiffany, you have to let me know if it seems like I have a longer delay than normal, because normally I'm jacked directly into the top, but I'm doing this right now. So I do want to say hello to Paul, who's already joined us in the chat. Paul, you get the here we go. You got on there, and hello to John Sullivan. John, hey, we're glad that you're here. And, Tiffany, I don't think I sent the last voicemail that I got from John doing Barack. No. But they're in the news again, so maybe it'll become relevant, and that's fine. And we told you our last homework assignment was we would be happy to allow Barack to do a song in the vein of any song from Debbie Gibson. So if Barack wants to come out and do a little karaoke with some Debbie Gibson, then we're cool, kind of thing. So you have to follow through on the particular assignment. So Tiffany, just it's happy. The reason I'm up in my kitchen is because Cyclone Kid. Our dinner times, lunch times, all those things are fluid. And about the time that 5 o'clock was rolling around for us to do stuff, he wanted the bratwurst. We do stadium brats now.
Ooh,
we were doing the Polish sausages for a while, and I believe he's decided that they are too salty in comparison to the stadium brats, and so now
they are salty.
Yeah. So he's not.
So it was like kielbasa and all that stuff. It's
exactly. He was a big fan of the kielbasa for a while. Yeah, all of those things. And in his the way he says, he wants the brown ones, not the red ones. So I guess he's like no red, no red. So yeah, he doesn't want those anymore. So I'm like,
is your ex German? Is this a heritage thing for him? Is it just like a good sausage? No,
I think it's just that, it's this is the happy median, because mom tried to get him to change to turkey sausages and turkey bratwurst and all this stuff. And he did that for a second. Then he looked at me. He's like, enough with you. We got to go back to the regular old premium pork products. So because he went with me to the store and I went to go and get the turkey bratwurst. And he took my hand off the door to the cooler and got these instead. So, and he's right. Mom, what mom's making. Mom is already, my tofu is being pressed as we do it right now. And I'm going to unpin that and come back to here. Sorry, John, we don't need to talk to you. It's just that I didn't need to pin that message. So I am doing that. And this is what mom's making, which Cyclone Kid wants nothing to do with. This is some fresh bok choy that I got. So
no, you're kidding. He doesn't want to eat bok choy with you.
I know. Imagine that. So
I've never even cooked bok choy. I don't think. Do you just steam it?
It's not hard. You can, yeah. And so I'm gonna steam it, and then I'm gonna toss it into the stir fry. So hi, Amy. Thanks for joining us. Glad to have you. Yeah. So that is the joy. That is the goal tonight. Is I'm gonna make myself a little stir fry. I've got some sea such, and I'm gonna do tofu. So, kind of thing. Which is one of the best reasons. Oh, for which class?
Oh, well, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt. What were you going to say?
No, I said for which class?
Oh, well, for my screenwriting class, I'm taking the second one through the UCLA Extension Program. So, yeah, but tonight I have to write myself to introduce, I have to do a class introduction but I have to write myself as a character in a movie, and it can be any genre I want.
Oh,
So
fun.
yeah,
Okay.
So I got it in my mind what I want to do, but I got to type it out.
Okay. So, and hello, some other people that are joining us in the chat. Hello to our good Kim. Kim, for everybody who is not Kim did a hair change in her color lately. I love it. It is vibrant, and I believe a purple slash what would be called? Kim, tell me what color you consider it, but I do love it. It's quite bright. It's like, hey to Lee Meyer, our former intern way back in the B96 days. Shout out to B96 squad. Appreciate him joining us. Yeah, Amy, thank you very much. I do agree that it is good in stir fry. You have to make sure you don't over steam it. It's one of those leafy greens that if you over steam it, it's just mushy. And so that's the thing about bok choy, Tiffany's. You can't overdo it. So, purple. Good job.
Finish.
It is, Kim. It is beautiful. Kim, I am a big fan of the new color. I'll show Tiffany your Instagram post when we get off of the call because it is beautiful on you. So good choice. Very, very good choice. Tiffany, I mean, we both changed our hair a couple of different times throughout our careers. If you were going to pick a color now, other than what you currently have, do you know what you would change it to if you were deciding to go out on a limb?
Oh man, that's so hard. I've never dyed my hair like a non-natural hair color. The closest I got was I was in a red phase that the red didn't. It almost looked burgundy. Do you remember when that was kind of a trend? That was like I liked it, but then I didn't like it. I don't know. Like I saw some pictures of myself and I thought it looked differently than what it did when I saw it in the pictures, and I'm like, I don't know about this. I have always wanted to dye.
Are you sure?
What's that?
Black? Like you said black?
Yeah,
I look bad on you.
I've always wanted to try it, but I feel like I'm pale and I have too many freckles and it would look weird. I don't know.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. Congratulations, Kim. Amy agrees with that. It looks good. How about this? Because you do have your Halloween when I'm dressing up as Morticia Addams wig. Let's get you a good black wig. And you could just wear it around for a week and then really see what you like before you go out. Because the thing about black is once you go that dark, you'd have to strip, wait for it to grow out. So if we got you a quality, like I'll tell you, like I'm not wigging lately. I'm just extensioning. But I'll send you the link to my wig site where I get my good wigs. And then we can get you a good one that you could wear and just like live in for like a week and see what you think. I think it will look good on you, but it is a big change. I understand why you would think that would make you look more pale. I get because it's a big change from what you had, but I think it looked beautiful on you. You know, it looked beautiful on you.
Still can look. It looks really good on certain people, but then other people it looks really dyed. You know what I mean? So you just don't kind of know until you commit to it, right?
Yeah. I think the other thing is that if you're going to go black, I'll send it to you as well, Kim. I'll send you that one. It's wigtypes.com, I believe it is, but let me look. So don't go. Okay, in the color spectrum of blacks, there's a 1 and then there's a 1B, which is a slightly less jet black. Go to like a 1B, like in my color, it's hard to say in here, but mine is technically called a 1B or a 2, depending on how much sun I get. So in the summer, it's more of a 2. So it's black, but it's not that stark jet black. That might be a good way to kind of entry into it. So don't go super dark. All right, I got to go over here real quick.
I don't want to look like one of those. I don't want to look like one of those guys who like sprays their hair. Do you know what I mean?
Right. You don't want it to look. You don't want it to look unnatural black. So there are different. There's different. Right. What, buddy? No bookstore. We're not going.
No bookstore. Yeah. Do you name your wigs like Moyer did on Schitt's Creek?
I did not, and now that that she's doing it, now I don't want to. Kind of thing. Now I'm just like, now they're like, now you're Schitt's Creek. And I don't have as many wigs as Moira has anyway. I did appreciate her wig game and the way that they were all like displayed.
Like she's in the hotel room and has to have them hanging and on the wall.
That makes sense though. I mean, if you want to just kind of be able to walk past them and see what inspires you, that does make sense. I was looking back through our photos from when we were like shooting series in 2022 and doing some other. I did have a while. I know I'm cooking it. I did the way some of them really look, and so I'm like, some of those wigs were really good when I was waiting to build back up my cushion for this house that I bought and spent all my money. Do you mean the hair dye rubbing off on everything you touch, or
that's what she's talking about,
or the I mean I'm presuming she doesn't mean the wig rubbing off every time she touches it.
Yeah.
The thing about the hair dye is that there's some color protecting there's some color protecting conditioners out there that help a bit. And you can get some there's some protecting spray that you can get a little bit, Kimmy. Let me see if I can find a little, because then it's because it is hard, what you do, kind of. I have a similar problem. Color that rubs off. But Tiffany, I told you about this. Like, I have a little bonnet that I sleep in because my hair doesn't get oily, it gets dry. So I have to put a lot of products in it to get it to not look like a tumbleweed and a cotton ball. So the moisturizers I put in my hair will rub off on everything. Like, that's why, like, when people, like a few years ago, I used to be the lady that always had her glasses living in here, and people would be like, oh, the lady with the glasses. I had to stop doing that because it's too hard to clean them, because once I changed my hair from those curly braids I had for like a decade and a half to this takes a lot more moisturizing, and it puts a film on the glasses.
Your glasses are always greasy wherever you go. Like, right. Oh, okay, great.
Right. Yeah. Agreed. So, thank you, Linda. Linda also likes the pump. So far, so good, Kimmy. Everybody is digging that. It was a good choice. I know it was a big step, it sounded like, from her social media post to go.
Okay.
But it looks wonderful. It looks absolutely wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Hey, Tiffany, I sent you a story, and I don't know why this keeps thinking I pinned this one. Hello. All right, I'll leave it later. But a friend of mine is having some insomnia issues, and so I looked up an article. I looked up an article, and I don't have it with me because I gave Cyclo Kim my phone. But this particular article. Do you? Because the one I sent you, I found one insomnia article that has some suggestions that I'm like, okay, these are quality suggestions. It had like 30 things on it. But this one that I sent you cracked me up because some of them just sound like bad ideas. And I think that this one came out of someplace in Wyoming or something like that. I'm like, I don't think you really want to do some of these things while you're tired because you have insomnia. They seem like you're just
faulty ideas. In the woods. And it was fill your night with these hobbies for insomniacs. Stargazing.
Yeah.
Okay. That's
okay. I'm cool with that. Yeah. Yeah.
You can do that from home. Bow fishing, I think it was maybe one of the things you were talking about.
That's what that does not seem like something you should do when you're a little bit of the, if you're like about to maybe lose focus because you haven't slept for a while. That seems like you would want quite a lot of focus.
I would want a lot of light as well. If I'm trying to basically hunt with a bow and arrow fish that are presumably in a stream or some kind of a slippery spot. So
and
slip, fall, crack your head open.
Right. I mean, that's a good way to go to sleep, I guess, kind of thing. If you're just gonna
knock yourself out, you fall there. But there's it says it's a great way to keep your off-season skills sharp. Yep. So you can be ready for spring, for bow hunt, for
and the thing is, I read through the whole article to see if it was being tongue-in-cheek, and
sarcastic.
I don't get that vibe. I get I don't think that it's being sarcastic. I got the vibe that somebody's like, "Hey, man, I'm sure they got a box down in Wyoming," because it did say something about you have to be careful. You can't do off season. So not only are you tired and you have to have a work on your aim with your bow to fish because it might be out of season. That seems like a lot for somebody that maybe, if NyQuil isn't working for you, you certainly aren't supposed to be out there in the wilderness. No, I don't think so.
No, and then you got to clean it. There's that. And then you're handling a knife. I don't know if that's a good idea. True crime was their next suggestion, which was such a weird leap. Like photography was another one. Okay, like, right. And then true crime. What? They're like, you could stay up late solving mysteries and helping strangers on the internet and listening to true crime podcasts. I can't listen to those at night because that also feeds the insomnia. Because I wasn't thinking about how I could get murdered, but now I really am. And then running. Right. Running was their final suggestion. Yep. Okay.
Running, I'm trying to figure out. Fred was like the other one. It was talking about soothing things. The other article that I sent you that I actually was like, hey, some of these don't suck. Because it actually said on it things like stay off social media. And the other one had things like knitting. Okay, if you're knitting, because what's the worst you can do? Drop a stitch, right. And then you're like, this came out, this is lopsided now as a consequence of me not being able to sleep. It's unless you lopsided somebody.
You trip and impale yourself with one of your knitting needles, possibly, but it's a risk.
Yeah. I was like, low risk, low risk, high reward. If you get to go, hey, this is what I sleep knit, and this is what I make. That seems fair.
Yeah,
that seems fair.
I would sleep knit. That's just like in the movie Demolition Man when he comes out of the cryogenic rehabilitation. He just wants to knit and sew, which I love.
I agree. Would
that be a deal breaker? Would that be? I'm asking you, but I'm also asking the other people. Would that be a turn on or turn off? If I mean, just gender roles. If a guy was a knitter.
I know the only knitting male that I know is already successfully relationshiped, and he makes some really cool like scarves and things. We're always impressed with them. So I don't think it would be considered a turn off. Yeah, see, I agree with Kim. Kim says it would be a turn on. I think it shows that you have focus, as long as they're not knitting something creepy like a noose or something. If it's like, oh, look, you made me a sweater and it's actually quite nice. I mean, I think I'd be okay with that. I agree with Kim. I think that would be a turn on.
Okay. All right. What if he was a quilter? Just all that every other day you're coming home and there's just another quilt. My mother made me a quilt and I bless her that I do not care for quilts. I don't know why. I don't know. There's too much.
You're just a blanket comforter person?
No, I don't like a quilt. They're usually too heavy.
Yes, in theory, because no, I don't sleep
hear that last part. You're
that hot, so I'm okay.
Okay.
I like a good quilt. I don't think I would be. Oh, sorry. I love it. I think what I might do is take one thing out. Let's see. Hold on. Let me go over here. Just for now.
I think I would like it.
What we'll do is we'll just go.
It's cool if a guy can sew, though. Working on that. There you go. Oh, I can't hear though.
It's coming.
Oh, there we go. Perfect.
You shouldn't mess with stuff in the middle of broadcast. We are doing perfectly fine. And now I broke it.
Oh no. Well, it was starting to cut out a little bit on the Wi-Fi, so I don't know.
It was working fine. It wasn't bad enough. Yeah, it wasn't bad this far in that I should be messing with it. I should have just left it alone.
Well,
you're fine.
You live and you learn. We're
technology.
Right. We can't just leave things alone.
No.
You gotta get in there. You gotta mix it up. Did you hear about Kelly Ripa?
What? What happened to Kelly?
Kelly Ripa is resigning from Live after 18 years.
Really?
That's
Did she
I was
get
reading an article before we hopped on with you. Well, apparently the reason is she started a skincare line, and the skincare line is a direct competitor with one of the show sponsors, which is like L'Oreal. And she has an anti-aging product that's in direct competition with them. And so they basically kind of did the, well, where do you want to focus? Like, where do you see your future going? And so she's like, yeah, I'm gonna stay with my family and milk my very successful other career and do what I want and not have to get up
Right.
at 5 o'clock in the morning. You know what I mean? Or 4 o'clock, whenever.
And how you
So,
keep telling me that I'm not the show and putting me with somebody else. Yeah. Good for
Right.
Kelly.
Yeah.
Because I didn't like all of the stories when she was looking for her last co-host. I didn't
Yep.
like all the stories that kept coming out, like she was being a prima donna. Yes, buddy. Well, bring it here. I don't see what you're doing. Like the fact that she was being a Madonna by having opinions on what should happen with the show when she'd been on the show that long. Oh yeah, you can watch that train. What kind of your train? What? That's the train.
Come on.
Oh, yeah. This is what we do in the house. Is that he finds train videos, and then I'm supposed to figure out what train it is, so that then we can look at the video later. So I'll find it. I have to go look. Go get your phone. I need to plug. So good for Kate. She's been on that show a long time.
Oh my
You know?
God, yeah. Well, and before that, she was a soap opera star because she was on General
Oh,
Hospital
was she?
before. Yeah, she was a teen. She was one of the when they would in the summer. It's really common on soap operas. I'm sure you remember when you were a kid that
Mhm.
during the summertime to get the teens to watch it, they would introduce younger characters and storylines. And so
Right.
I can't remember the character. I think her character's name was Haley, like
Mhm.
Haley's Comet.
And you said General
And she had-
Hospital?
Yeah, it was General Hospital. I'm pretty sure it was General Hospital, or it may have been another ABC one. But she had black. Speaking of dyed black hair, her character had like dyed black hair. So when I realized she was actually a blonde, I was kind of surprised.
Oh, I'm gonna make your it's cooking, buddy. So that I mean, she's one of those people that because I'm very rarely home to watch the show. I always watch bits and pieces of it later, whatever ends up getting reposted
Right.
and people talk about. So I mean, I have no reason to not be a fan of Kelly Ripa unless I'm missing something. So I'm like, good for her. And I'm always a fan of women who go, nah, I'm gonna do my own thing. So if her line is doing well, why put your line on hold for another company that could, in theory, fire you? I mean,
Right.
I appreciate women who take that challenge and go, well, I could continue getting paid by someone else, or I can run my own company and I sink or I swim based upon my own, whatever happens is what happens, but at least she's in control of it. So I'm good for Kelly. I'll tell my sister. My sister would definitely, she's the skincare.
And
one, my
now
sister
I'm
Casey.
reading and I don't know if maybe I had some clickbait or something because now it's looking like maybe, you know what, I might have gotten that from a TMZ. That might have been more of a gossip report as to what is because it looks like she had taken a leave of absence. I haven't watched the show in the last couple of weeks, so but it's been that's what sparked the speculation and all that stuff. But it is true that she's got this cosmetic company, so we'll see. I mean,
Right.
that would be kind of it's like, and Ryan Seacrest, that's all he's been waiting for anyway, just to get his own to do it himself. I mean, without him, we wouldn't have the Kardashians. I mean,
Fair enough.
He
Yeah.
wants to get his show.
Yeah.
I mean, he's
And my
only
thing
working
about-
9 jobs.
My thing about Ryan Seacrest is that I think that he has done an excellent job of staying appropriately non-confrontational. Like Ryan Seacrest did a great job of staying so like all of his products, everything he does is so just vanilla. Like
Oh,
it's
God,
like
yeah.
he's
It's
not
very
trying
safe.
to be edgy. Right, very safe. It's very, very middle of the road. Very this, and he's never trying to be edgy. He's never trying to be. That's not what he does. But what he does do is provide content that you're like, just turn it on, and nobody's gonna manage to get offended, which is hard to do these days. At that part, I'm all for. Like, I'm okay if somebody gets mad at me every once in a while, but I make different content than Ryan.
Right.
Ryan's
Right.
very all right. I'm just here in the middle, so he's cool with that, and so. Hey, good
He's
on you.
very
That's what you
he's
make.
very good Yes, he's very good at making whoever's in front of him important. He's a
Yes.
well-researched interviewer. He's, you know what I mean? He knows the right questions, and he's not so serious about himself. You know, he does a lot of self-deprecating stuff, so I like him. Well, now I'm
Yeah.
confused about this. So maybe she's not quitting. But
Okay.
I don't like
We'll do
this.
some
now.
research.
We'll do some research.
Right.
Hey, if I was married,
Because
if
if
my
you
husband looked like, I was gonna say, if my husband looked like that, I would no. I would stay at home for sure, for shiz.
Why?
He's.
It makes you
don't
appreciate him
know
more when you
Consuelos?
stop looking at him and come back.
Oh, that's true. He's just adorable.
Yeah.
They met on set when they were.
Oh.
They got. Yeah. It's adorable. They're so cute. Anyway, good for her. Whatever she wants to do, she'll be a success.
Right.
You know.
Yeah. Because I didn't like when they were squeezing her before going, hey, acting like, it's like, well, you're just left over from Regis. And it's like, no,
Right.
This is my show. I
Right.
appreciated her stepping forward like that when she did it. So good on her.
Right.
If she wants to leave, at least she gets to leave on her own terms.
Yes. Well, and that's, anyway, although that would definitely spike up the ratings. That would be a highly coveted job. Like, who could step into her shoes? A lot of people. A lot of people would want that gig.
Mm-hmm. I think a lot of people would want that gig more than like when Wendy Williams was stepping down and there were people vying for that job. But this is so, like, I think taking over Wendy Williams' show was more of a, nobody's expecting you to be Wendy because
Right.
Wendy was a very polarizing person. So it's okay, you get this time slot, but nobody expects you to do exactly what Wendy did because Wendy barely got away with what Wendy did. I think being in this position, you walk into more of a position of, the framework is very expected, but you are walking in with people will probably like you depending on how Kelly hands it. If she leaves, how she hands it off. Like you
Right.
could walk into a position where it's all like, hey, you are the heir apparent to this next thing that is happening, and it's more set up for success. I'm guessing. I just don't see it being a controversial pick. So.
No, it won't be. It'll be the safest thing you've ever heard. Well, but that's the thing. Like, it actually kind of ties into that other story you sent me this week about about The Weeknd.
Yes.
And Coachella, like knowing your worth and saying this is what I deserve. Because Kanye backed out, and so they asked The Weeknd, and then they're like, yeah, but we're not going to pay you as much. And The Weeknd's like, well,
so The Weeknd's like, then I'm not coming either. No, forget it. And I appreciate that he did that. Like, you think I didn't read that article about what you were gonna pay? Yay, so,
right?
Then I won't come. I can stay home. Kind of stuff. And I appreciate it.
I can definitely stay home. That is
exactly. Right. He's like, you know what I got? Right. I got a name that tells you where I will be.
Exactly.
For The Weeknd.
That's right. If you're asking The Weeknd to give up his weekend, it's going to cost money. I mean, it's expensive.
Yeah. Otherwise, he's like, I'll stay home and make my performance art and like make some bandages and some stuff to go along with my songs. If The Weeknd is sitting there and tell.
What if he wrote a diss track to Kanye about the money? Just like all of a sudden The Weeknd just takes a sharp left.
And you'd be like, I didn't know The Weeknd did diss tracks. Like, but it'd be a very pretty, like 1980s variety, like synthesizer heavy diss track.
Right. It'd be like, yes, it would be, it'd be like if Boys II Men did a track. It would be if it was even older. If New Editions did diss tracks.
It'd be like, Ye is now at home. And they don't want to give me money. It'd be like very something where you like did this dance to it.
And the dancers just come out of nowhere and then they're like, yeah, and it blows up. Then he also starts trying to date Kim Kardashian at the same time. And poor Kanye.
Here's my thing about Kanye. We don't talk about Kanye very often, but Kanye, I know Kanye is having some challenges. And the thing that I try to not diss Ye too much about is that I do have concerns anytime one of our celebrity people that we know clearly is going through some mental health challenges, and that they seem to be unaddressed. They seem to be that his yes people are allowing it to continue. But the thing that I'm torn, and you and I haven't talked about this, somebody had posted this on online, and I don't remember who it was specifically about, Ye or somebody adjacent, but it was a male celebrity that clearly seemed to be having some sort of breakdown type thing. And so they said online, they go, so conservatorship, right? Or does that only happen to female celebrities? And that made me really think about it, because it's like, okay, these women we do know end up swooped into this conservatorship, but this guy who's literally making threats against multiple people, but he's like talking about sending a goon to his house, do this, do that. Like, that's clearly coming across as unhinged. But no, we haven't set up a conservatorship, so is it that it's too late? He's too big, and so you can't do it now? And they were able to swoop in on Britney Spears, who was having the same sort of like mental health crisis.
And you're right too, but it seems like with the conservatorship, it is predominantly female, but it's also younger women. It doesn't.
Fair enough.
I wonder if there's an age thing. Do you know what I mean? Kind of like, they are who they are now. You know what I mean? Like, you're not. But yeah, because like Amanda Bynes, they're trying to get her conservatorship revoked. But yeah, I mean, it is interesting. It's scary though to go through that kind of a mental health breakdown, but then also when you've got a platform like that and a voice like that, I just remember when I first heard Kanye's music, I was just in love immediately. So I always have a spot on Mark, because he was one of my favorite artists for a really long time. And then, I think ever since his mom died, he's never been right. I don't think he's been the same guy. I mean, it seems like that's when all stuff started kind of spiraling, and like showing up at award shows, carrying the bottle of booze and doing all that. It's like, I don't think you would have acted that way if your mom was with you or your mom was watching it, And
and he did have a couple of other, other than like the Taylor Swift, some other stuff that was a little loose cannon. Sorry, I have to go downstairs and figure out what dog. But I'm sorry. So I do think that Kanye is a bit loose cannon, but now it's like it never was a loose cannon where you thought he didn't seem threatening to me in a loose cannon-y sort of way before. If anybody wonders, this is my laundry room.
Well, and I will say this: there's a laundry room, and I remember, and I wasn't allowed. For the last election, I worked as an election judge, and I wanted to keep one of the ballots. You can't do that; it's against the rules. But I wanted to keep one of them that said Kanye on there, because he did make it to the presidential cutoff. So
yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that would have been a good keepsake. Remember? Remember that time, Kanye? But also too, he made me. I mean, he also one of his best. We should have known he was going to maybe gradually warp into this when they did the benefit for Hurricane Katrina, and he called out George Bush on national TV. That was amazing. I'm like, oh my God, no, he didn't. That is funny.
And he's been like that.
George Bush does not care about black people, and Mike Myers is like, oh my God.
He's like, and see.
Right.
Because Mike doesn't know what
just watching the slow-mo of Mike Myers' face. Right.
Where he's like,
oh my God, that's funny.
He's like, well, I don't want to defend. I can't get mad at Kanye because I don't want to defend George Bush. Right? What's he gonna say?
Right.
It's just fascinating.
So, I'm scrolling through.
Maybe it is age.
Yeah.
What are you scrolling through?
I was scrolling through because you had sent me another article and I couldn't remember what it was. The the world's oldest pants. Do you remember sending me this article?
Yeah.
The world's oldest pants are 3,000 years old and an engineering marvel. And I swear to God, I was really surprised. And I scrolled to this article, and they were were not owned by my ex-husband because he had pants in this bad of shape and he would still wear them out of the house. He would still wear these things. I mean, yeah, like he had t-shirts that like had no armpits left.
It was one of those. The only reason I got new pants.
Oh God, yeah, yes, it was like you literally once the fabric disintegrates, that's what then you throw it in the garbage that way. Like that's how long. Underwear, I would throw away the bad ones, and then I'm like, why? What keeps happening? What are you doing with your underwear on a daily basis that I am not doing with my underwear? Like, I know you work as a mechanic, but like, I would think that most of the stuff would end up on the outside, of the clothing, but I don't know. How would I know? Right? How's the stir fry coming up? How's the stir?
Oh, I didn't start my stir fry yet. I'm still making bratwurst for him. And he just looked at me. He's very disappointed. I thought we had additional hot dog buns, but I don't see any. So I put what? It's in that. You have to eat that. I put the.
What's he saying?
It's pretty. Eat that first. He wants more bratwurst. I don't have more hot dog buns. I just have buns. So I put it between two sliders, and he had like to just give it to him. And he's like, no. Look.
You can cut the hot dog up or the bratwurst up like sandwich meat and put it on a bun.
Yeah, I know, but he just doesn't think that. Here, look.
He won't like that though. He'll be like, "This isn't right. This is not what my hot dog bun looks like." He knows what he wants. He knows what he wants. He wants his hot dog buns.
Same bread, but it looks wrong. Not good at it. It looks wrong. Okay, yep. He's eating it now. I cut him in half so that like I tried to and like it's the same bread. It's the same brand. Not good at things looking. So he's eating it now. Where he's like.
No,
I had to like swoop up and like cut it real quick because he was like, "Don't cut it." I'm like, "All right, it's fine." So, all right, so I'm gonna go cut my bok choy. What do you think? Are we gonna do? I think we'll have to like check in with everybody next week. Like you and I can talk throughout the week and see if we can show next week because you're not traveling, but you dance during the day. I don't necessarily have anything. I think Michael and Ken and I are just hanging out here, and I'll make sure that I have her buns for next week so we don't have to have this conversation again. So That's it. So Tiffany, it was always
we can have a different conversation.
Right. Thanks to everybody that joined us. If you're watching us in the WePlay and there's something that you want us to talk about ever on the Black Unicorn, and I'm going to remember this time to not walk away from the laptop when our end credit song by our good friend Trey Aaron is playing, so it doesn't come back and everybody's confused. So all right. So
I was like, this is a really interesting webcam. It's just Shannon's basement live.
Shannon's office. Right. Shannon walked away from the studio. It's not big brothery at all. So, all right. Bye, everybody. Bye, Tim.
Bye.
Someone who'll take a little time to see that maybe I'm not worthless. But all my plans fell far from good, and all my words were misunderstood. I start to think that maybe I deserve less. When my lucky stars crash to the ground, and the hands of fate were talking about, heard a voice say you're not alone. When calamity began to compound, the whiskey drank stopped pouring down. That voice said, I'm not on my own. Oh, it was you. sidewalk blues wanna feel like I won't fade away. Every next step that I take, the broken piece starts to bend shake. So I sat down and prayed for rain. When my record stars crash to the ground, my hands are fed, were tightly bound, and a voice said,